Welcome to the Midweek Tease with me, Adelle Onyango, where I share some random and not too random thoughts on things. And in this episode, let's talk about the luteal phase. I'm going to go there because I've had it. I'm smack in the middle of it and I'm just like, where? But I finally figured out how to have a better handle of it. Okay. Rewind. Let me start from the very beginning. Have you ever had those days when you're doing everything right? You are doing everything according to your schedule. If you normally wake up and do a morning walk like me, you're trying to do that. If you normally wake up in the morning and you are doing your exercise routine, or you're packing your lunches, or you're getting ready for work, whatever your routine looks like, you are trying desperately to do it right. And probably yesterday and the day before, you were doing it. You were killing whatever is on your routine, whatever is on your to-do list. And then all of a sudden today, you're trying to do the same damn thing, but out of nowhere, your energy just drops. Your body feels sluggier, even heavier. Your emotions are closer to the surface. For those of you who love crying like me, your tears are just there waiting, ready to pop out. And you can even find yourself doubting yourself. Lord, I know that feeling so well. For so many years, I used to beat myself up whenever these feelings would pop up. I would call myself lazy, call myself unproductive, call myself too emotional, say that I'm failing at things, and really just talk down and harshly to myself until I learned what my body was actually trying to tell me. So today I want to talk about grace. Really, that really is what it is. And specifically, how we as women can be more graceful with ourselves during our menstrual cycle, especially during the luteal phase. That stretch of time before our period starts, when we often feel most unlike ourselves. Sometimes we feel unworthy. Sometimes we feel like we're just not doing well enough. We're not doing the things we used to be able to do just a couple of days or a week ago. You know what I mean? That phase. Let's first start by understanding the luteal phase, right? It usually happens after ovulation and before your period. What's happening is your progesterone levels rise and your body starts preparing for menstruation. And physically, what you might start to feel is more tired. Oh my God. I'm smack in the middle of this phase and the exhaustion. And it has come when we're shooting season 3 of For Mannerless Women. We're shooting another show that's going to be coming on our network very soon. Here I am tired. You could feel bloated. I used to get very bloated during this period, but then I noticed that whenever I take probiotic yogurt, I don't feel it. Emotionally, hey. During this phase, I am so much more sensitive. So much more. Like, hey, one small thing, and I'm just like, well, I'm taking it with a heavy pinch of salt. I'm more reflective. I found even with my person, I'm less patient. I'm like noticing everything and reading so much more into it that I need to be. And I think I also, which is so out of my character, I withdraw. This particular luteal phase that I'm going through, I don't even want to talk to people, which is crazy because I love chatting. I'm one of the few people who even love small talk, right? But I recently got better at extending grace to myself during this period after downloading, and this is not a sponsored ad or anything, but I downloaded this app called Bell to track my period. I never used to track my period on an app per se. I would just rely on certain telltale signs that my body would give me 2 weeks before, a week before. And my body used to be like clockwork. It still is to a huge percent. But because of other complications I have, I downloaded this app called Bell because I was like, I want to get serious about tracking. And I also want to notice the luteal phase specifically. And I thought if I better understand it, if I know when it's happening, I can be more graceful with myself, right? And just these few couple of months that I've been tracking and monitoring, and the app actually tells you what phase you're in, so I know when I'm in the luteal phase. I've noticed that when I know, I am more graceful with myself, right? I start to acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with me, that my body isn't broken, that my body is actually working hard, right? Even though I'm feeling like shit, my body is doing something sacred. It's doing important behind the scenes work. And that deserves grace, not guilt and not shame. But it's not always easy. It's not always easy because we live in a world that rewards consistency, in a world where productivity is praised and rest is questioned, even looked down upon, It's like taking a break or taking it slow is synonymous with being lazy in the world that we live in now, which is just wrong. We're expected to show up the same way every single day at work, in relationships, creatively, in our businesses. Yet, as women, our bodies are designed to change, So I used to push through every cycle and ignore my body's cues and then feel like I'm not showing up as well as I used to. I'm not doing enough. I'm being unproductive. I'm being lazy. And then I just feel burnt out. I would get so irritable, or I'd panic because I'd feel like, have I lost my spark? What's happening? But let me tell you, especially since tracking, I have begun to really understand the rhythm of my body. And I just kind of realized nothing is off during this period. Like, I'm talking to you now, smack in the middle of my luteal phase. And I am acknowledging that I'm moving a lot slower than I did, let's say, last week. But that doesn't mean I'm lazy. That doesn't mean I'm off. That doesn't mean I'm not serious. It just means the amount of work my body is doing internally, behind the scenes, sacred work, requires me in this moment to move a little slower, and that's okay. It is okay for me to flow with my body and not against it. I don't know if you've noticed, the Legally Clueless podcast episode this week went out a little later than usual. This particular Midweek Tease episode is going out a couple of hours later than it usually does. I'm not shaming myself. I'm not guilting myself that I'm taking longer than usual to approve certain edits, to approve certain copy or whatever for things to go out. I'm aware of the phase I'm in, and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to do it. For sure, it's going to get done. It might be 4 hours later than it was last week. And that's because my body is doing incredible work right now, and I'm flowing with it, not against it. And so, like, my number one ask of you as a woman who is listening to this is to track your cycle, not for you to get pedantic about it or anal about it, but for you to just know, especially with the luteal phase, my goodness, to just know, I get it. I'm not going to shit on myself. I understand exactly what's happening in my body right now. And so I want to share with you 5 ways that you can practice grace during your luteal phase. And these are some ways that I practice grace. So try it and test it. The first one is to rest intentionally. Instead of calling it being lazy, I just remind myself that rest is actually part of the work. I think in season 2 of For Mannerless Women, one of our guests in Gashin said, if you are not productive with rest, you're not going to be productive with work. So you've got to rest to the best of your ability. And I am so shameless during my luteal phase. Like, I literally have been on calls with a colleague. And when I'm ending the call, I'm saying, hey, if you're not able to reach me in the next hour and a half, like over the next hour and a half, it'll be because I'm taking my afternoon nap. Yeah, yeah, shamelessly, man. Shamelessly. The second tip, adjust your rhythm. Now that you know the phase that you're in, this isn't the time for you to force big creative ideas and pushes. It's time for reflection. It's time for you to maybe tie up loose ends, do soft planning, delegate a bit more, which is what I'm doing. I am in the middle of, launching another business, and expanding this current business. And I've taken a week off. Literally, the suppliers that I've been talking to, I said, hey, let's circle back in a week. I've adjusted my rhythm, and nothing is going to die. Nothing is going to go up in flames because I've done that. I'm honoring my body, which brings me to the third tip. Nurture your body. Meet your body where it's at. Give your body warm foods. Stretch. Oh my God. Let me tell you, my morning walks, because I go up 3 really steep hills, I just feel my body stretching, and I'm like, yes, I'm giving you what you need right now. You could journal. Journaling is incredible for the mind, even. You could, which is what I love, drink your brewed herbal teas. I love making my hibiscus tea from scratch. I boil the hibiscus petals. I cut up I cut up and grind my ginger, and I pour it in there. I add a bit of honey and I brew it. And that always makes my body feel safe when I just give it this tea that we love, nurture your body. Number 4, hey, this one, please pay attention. If there's only one thing you take from this episode, let it be this. Watch yourself talk, please. Watch it. The luteal phase can make your inner critic louder than ever. It's like giving it a megaphone. And when you notice that, try responding with compassion instead of criticism. So, for example, I walk every morning. I do a morning walk that is between 7,000 to 10,000 steps. During my luteal phase, there's some days I am so tired, I can't even wake up and do my morning walk. Before, when I wasn't tracking and I didn't know which phase I was in of my cycle, my inner critic would shit on me the days that I am just too tired because of the work my body is doing to go for my walk. Do you know what has changed now? I want to say maybe a day, actually yesterday my alarm rang, and the first thing I normally do is go on my morning walk. And I was for 2 minutes going back and forth with my body trying to see, can I make it? Can I not? Can I make it? And my inner voice was the kindest I've ever been. What I thought was, hey, you know what? I think you can try. Let's try. And even if we do half, that's good. My inner voice was reminding me, hey, remember how much you like the crisp early morning breeze hitting your face? I really love that feeling. I can't explain to you why, but I love it. It's one of my favorite things, favorite ways of starting the day, specifically that feeling. And my inner voice reminded me of that and said, maybe that's all we do. Let's just go and get that fix of that thing we like. And literally my inner voice said, I think you can do it. Let's give it a try. And even if we only do 50% of our normal walk, hey, we tried. Compassion instead of criticism. And the 5th tip is ask for softness. Let me tell you, the people around you want to be there for you. They really do. But you got to reach out first. You have to ask whether it looks like you communicating your needs to your partner or you simply saying no. You're allowed to make space for yourself. And I'll give you an example of two things I've done during this phase. As I mentioned earlier, I am working on expanding this business and finally rolling out something fun. Okay, that's all I can say right now. And it involves me shipping in samples. And I just did not have the energy to go and pick the samples. I was stretched thin because of the work that I was doing. And normally I wouldn't delegate tasks like this to someone else because control freak and then excitement, right? But I just knew I don't have it in me during this phase. And I really just reached out to my person and said, hey, I need your help. I don't have the capacity for ABCD. Can you go and do this for me? In a heartbeat, they did. Another thing during this phase, my bloatedness was like, I was feeling a bit of cramps, but it wasn't cramps. It was just discomfort, to be honest. And I vocalized it, and I live in the middle of nowhere. So even trying to get a hot water bottle around here, all of the best, you know? And I vocalized this need. It was met by someone who wanted to immediately, help. And they did. Another thing is, even on a good day, I hate WhatsApp groups. I really do. And I was recently added into a WhatsApp group that I didn't want to be in. And I didn't realize that my WhatsApp settings on my private line weren't secure. So if you added me to a group, it would just accept. Do you know what I did? I left because I knew not only do I not like WhatsApp groups in general, but right now, I do not want the noise of notifications and people talking, blah, blah, blah. As I said earlier, I experience wanting to withdraw, right? So the little energy I have now or bandwidth, I am saving it for my work that includes speaking to you, speaking to guests, because we're in the middle of or about to start shooting season 3 of For Mannerless Women tomorrow. So ask for softness, but also give yourself the softness. You are allowed to make space for yourself as you are during your luteal phase. So this week, I want to leave you with this thought. What would it look like if instead of fighting your body, you started flowing with it? What if every time your energy shifted, instead of panicking, you paused and you told yourself, I am allowed to slow down? Grace isn't passive, right? It's quite active. It's a doing thing. It's an act of partnership with your body. And I think that's one of the most powerful kinds of self-love. But more than anything, other than the tips I've given you, track your cycle so that you know exactly when you and your body and your mind are needing of more grace than guilt. Now, if this episode resonated with you, make sure you share it with another woman who needs to be reminded that slowing down is not failure. It's actually wisdom. It's actually wisdom. I will also give you one last heads up of something that we're doing. If you want to continue on this wellness journey, here we look at wellness, mental, physical, but also financial. And so our last wellness talk of the year is this Saturday, the 25th of October. My favorite money educator, Susan Wanjiku, is going to be the guest speaker. And she's going to be helping us unpack smart money strategies for entrepreneurs and freelancers. So from money boundaries to building financial safety nets for your business and yourself, splitting personal finances, business finances. And what I love about Susan is she always has practical tips and tools that she gives us. Tickets are just 1,000 bob. They're available there's a link in the show notes, but our ticket portal closes at 3 p.m. East Africa time on Thursday, the 23rd of October. So make sure you grab your ticket ASAP. And always remember, you are enough, you are worthy, and you are loved. Thanks for listening to the Midweek Tease, a Legally Clueless Africa production. Episodes go out every Wednesday, and you can learn more about us by going to legallycluelessafrica.com.